Now, every day, someone in the world loses a loved one. Grief counseling and support groups are becoming increasingly important in Zimbabwe, offering a sense of community and connection during these difficult times. In the next report, we give you more on how these resources are helping individuals navigate the challenges of grief and find a way forward.
Patience's life was forever changed on May 30th, 2024, when she received devastating news about the death of her 8-year-old daughter. The pain and heavy burden was like nothing she had ever felt before.
We lost Victoria. She was 8. She fell sick over a few days, and we lost her in hospital. And it plays in slow motion. When the doctor is calling you to the next room, to give you the I'm sorry news. Your whole world just crashes.
Grief is an individual experience that everyone goes through at some point in their lives. It leads to a situation where many struggle to cope during mourning, often without the right support. Patience began her healing journey through counseling from the Christian Counseling Center.
I'd like to thank the counseling sessions that I've received, that they've given me hope, and that there is hope, and that through the loss that we go through the loss that I went through, my eyes have been opened to a different world.
And Christian counseling grief support groups.
I'm currently in a WhatsApp group with mothers that have lost children, and daily, people are being added to that group. And so you realize that there's this community of people that walk around every day. I mean, it's not written on their faces, but in their hearts, people are grieving.
Trained counselors have been offering this support through grief counseling.
Grief counseling is assisting someone who has had a bereavement, someone who's now grieving, to deal with the grief that they will be experiencing. This process, if it is done properly, it is actually quite helpful to people who are grieving.
Helping counselees understand the stages of grief, which are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance.
There's a lot of cultural issues around grief, and so many people grieve a lot because in general people don't understand grief, because we hadn't talked about grief, we hadn't talked about death, dying, and so forth. So many people have their own assumptions about grief, and there are a lot of myths also around grief. So grief counseling actually does help a person to process their grief.
And how to navigate complex emotions of grief in the midst of cultural encouragement to be strong and not cry at funerals.
There's a lot of cultural issues around grief, and so many people grieve a lot because in general people don't understand grief, because we hadn't talked about grief, we hadn't talked about death, dying, and so forth.
In our African culture, when people come and they're offering words of encouragement at the funeral, sometimes they don't quite know what to say, and in them trying to comfort you, sometimes the words that they say actually...
The story is a testament to the power of support and grief counseling during the painful time of grieving. As she looks back on her journey, she's grateful for the grief counseling support she received. Wanzanai Sansole, ZTN Prime.